Hi, this is my video on the Smatree Smapole S3C. Now this is a carbon fibre lightweight pole for your action camera. Now I picked this up from Amazon for $34.99. It is one of the most expensive poles I ever bought, and I'd say probably the third carbon fibre item for handling action cameras or smartphones I've ever done on this channel. So I'll go around the box to show you what's on the box. First of all, it states here the Smatree, what the pole is, the Smapole S3C for obviously carbon fibre. It's floatable, ultra light and multifunctional. It shows a picture of the pole, the full length of this pole. It's quite long, but it breaks down into two halves, but I'll show you that later on. It's floating capability, all weathers, aluminium mount at the top for your action camera, and compatible with 1/4 inch tripod threads. So it has a hole at the bottom for at the bottom of the pole, so it can go onto tripods at the bottom of that section and at the bottom of that section, but I'll show you that later on. On that side it just says Smapole S3C, floatable, ultra light, multifunctional, and the same it says on the other side. And on the back here it says the same thing again, Smapole S3C, floatable, ultralight, multifunctionable. Installation, and it just basically shows you how to connect the two sections together and how to connect the wrist strap to it as well. Now the weight and product specification of this thing is the whole thing weighs 0.2 kilograms. Now in other words, 200 grams it weighs. The retracted length is 12.5 inches and the extendable length is 39.5 inches. Now I'll do my own measurement for this, because like I say in all my other videos, the manufacturers measure from the top of the selfie stick down to the bottom, but I'll show you what I normally use, my measurements of a true selfie stick length. And here it just shows you the actual selfie stick, the extension bit, the extension rod, the lanyard and the thumb screw that you get. Optional that you get is the spanner to tighten the thumb screw, and also the tripod legs. Them are optional. Now inside the box it is presented like this. We have the pole, the action pole here, the extension arm here. On this side we have the mount and the thumb screw there on that side, and underneath you get the lanyard. So the lanyard is underneath, and then we get a user manual, an instruction manual, a catalogue, just a brief leaflet on the catalogue of other Smatree products here. Just a general, here we just get a general instruction how to lock and unlock the pole itself, and we get Smatree's Smapole assembly and disassembly introduction on here as well. So this is what you get in the box. Okay, I'll run through what's in detail of each things that you get in the box. We have the GoPro thumb screw here, which is made out of plastic and has a metal nut on the end, and it's just a typical ordinary GoPro thumb screw. It's not made out of metal at all, just plastic. We have the lanyard. which is able to connect onto the bottom of the extension pole here, because that has a 1/4 inch thread, and also it can connect on the bottom of the action pole itself, because that has a 1/4 inch thread. So we have that can be screwed in. It has the word Smatree written all over it, and we have an adjuster here for your wrist with it. Next we have the GoPro style mount here, and this mount is aluminium, but it looks like it's supposed to be aluminium, but looking at it, it's plastic. So this is a plastic mount. It's supposed to be aluminium, and for some reason they've given us a plastic one here. So there's a plastic mount here, but on the pole itself you get an aluminium one. So it looks like you get two, even though it doesn't stay on the box. So you get a metal one on the pole itself and a plastic one here. But I think I know what the plastic one is exactly for. I think it's for this one here, so you can turn this into a floaty pole. So you can turn this extension pole, extension rod, into a floaty pole, and that's what the plastic one is for. Now we have the extension pole itself, and this is carbon fibre, and the extension pole is about 11.5 inches in length. So from there to there, 11.5 inches in length. It has this blue accent on the bottom, and as you can see, it has a 1/4 inch thread here, so you can attach your lanyard on there. Now the plastic GoPro mount here is to attach it onto here. Now the plastic mount is attached onto there, and you can now use this as a smaller pole or as a floaty pole. So that's what that plastic mount's for, obviously to give it more extra buoyancy in the water. So that's what that extra plastic mount is for. Now the mount at the top, as you can see, as I said, it's plastic, and it has this kind of brass cap here for the screw. So it doesn't have this traditional nut on the end. It has this cap instead. So that's how it'd look with your action camera on there. Now onto the action pole itself. Now this is quite compact. Now the actual length of this when it's brought down is 12 inches in length from here to here. When it's fully retracted down. Now this is quite light, it's absolutely light. It's not a thick pole though, I have to say that it doesn't feel thick in its circumference at all. It just feels a bit thin, like the extension, similar to the extension rod, feels a bit thin than a normal floaty. But this is how the action rod stays, action pole stays. Now on here we have a blue accent at the bottom with a 1/4 inch thread, and we have this kind of sponge around for the handle, which has the words Smatree. I'll try and get that into shot, but it says the word Smatree is indented in there. We have the carbon fibre look, carbon fibre on there. We have these rubber adjustment, I'd say, adjusters, which simply screw anti-clockwise to unlock it and clockwise to lock, and you can adjust your pole in any length. Now it has 3 sections to this pole, first, second and third section, and at the very top of the pole here we have a aluminium GoPro mount. Now this mount you cannot remove. It is it seems to be welded or stuck onto the top, or fastened onto the top, so you cannot remove this mount. And it has its own screw thread in there as well. Now this pole, fully extended out without the extension, the measurements between these 2 points is 21 inches between these 2 points. Now that's without the extension. Now I'm going to put the extension on to give you a full overall length of this pole. Now the overall length from the bottom of the pole to the bottom of the mount is 31 inches. Now I don't really go by, even though I've told you that length between these 2 points, bear it in mind, you're going to lose some inches when you hold the pole. So that is, to me, now that would be your true length from there, from where your hand finish, top of your hand to the actual bottom of the mount. But it is a long pole, and I have to say this, it is feather light. It is really, really light. The only weight I can feel off this pole is the camera on top. And because of the camera, it feels just a little bit heavy, and this is a GoPro Hero 7. It makes it feel a bit unbalanced, but if you're an action person and you've dealt with these kind of poles before, you're probably used to that. But it hasn't, because I'm used to aluminium poles, you get used to the weight, and the weight of the pole actually sometimes equals out to the camera that you put it on. So when you're holding a carbon fiber pole, you really do notice the difference in weight. Now, I do not know if they've done this purposely or it happens to be how I've screwed this pole, but what I've noticed is the word Smatree on the extension part of the pole is perfectly in line with the word Smatree that's written on the foam part of the pole. So that's, if they've done it like that, that is very good. That is really good, because I've never seen that before on a pole. Even when you got the actual name of the company on a pole or a selfie stick, and you connect your camera to the top, whether it's a action camera or even a phone mount on there which holds your phone, most of the time the name of the company is either on the side, to the side, or to the, literally to the back. It's, you know, it's not even in line with the camera on there. So that's very good from Smatree to do that. They've put some thought into that, and that's quite good. Another thing they put thought into, and I'm going to show you when I loosen this. I'll take that off to show you as I screw that off. Now that's the bottom of the extension, and if you look, I'll try and get it on camera, there's a groove in there, so it's sunken in. So the actual thread is there, and then there's a sunken in part to the top. Now the bottom of the pole, the action pole, if you can see where the blue accent is, that's sticking out a bit, but it's not as wide as the pole, as the handle. So when you screw these two together as such, if you look at the blue accent, it will disappear, and that's it. And that pole then is absolutely secured in. So that's another great thing. I've never seen that feature at all, even on a extension poles that I have, even from other manufacturers, even such as I think it's Manfrotto. They don't even do that, so that is quite good. I like that from Smatree. They've done quite well on that. Now I'm going to probably be asked about other cameras. Now you can fit other cameras on this mount, as long as they have the GoPro type style mounting system. So you can put your Yi cameras on there, your SJ cams on there, as long as if they got a GoPro style mount fitting on them, or you've got the accessory for that style mount fitting for those cameras, so you can put those cameras on there. Another question I'll probably be asked about as well is, you can put phones on this as long as you've got a phone mount that has a GoPro style end. So you can buy phone mounts that have a GoPro style ends to them, and you can fit them on there. And I think Smatree do their own as well, fitting for a mobile phone that can fit onto these GoPro style mounts. Now, another thing I like with this pole is the smooth action of the locking mechanisms. It's just a slight turn anti-clockwise, and you can make the adjustment. Just a slight turn, and you can make the adjustment. So that is really nice, and they have a feel of nice grippy rubber around them, and they don't take a lot of turning neither. Just a slight turn unlocks them, and a slight turn clockwise to lock them back. Brilliant. And I like the grippiness of them. So it's a very, very good action pole. Now, my 2 pence worth on the Smatree Smapole S3C. If you're looking for a very, very good action pole to take with you on holiday or doing action sports, or even if you're not doing action sports and you really want a nice, light, very long extension pole, action pole with an extension, for $34.99 is a very, very good price, I think, for this. It's really good because, as I says, this thing is really, really light. The only weight you really feel on this is from the action camera you're going to place on there, or phone mount with your phone on there. That's the only weight you're going to really feel from this kind of pole. The build quality of this is absolutely bulletproof. It just feels firm. Even when you're locking and unlocking each section, they don't feel wobbly. There's no kind of vibration to it or anything like that. And when you tighten it, it doesn't feel like it's not going to stay in place, or it might loosen up. For its money, it's a very, very good pole. And I like how you just get this extension part to it, which you can turn into a floaty handle. The only thing I'd say, which is just a little negative thing, is it's just the circumference of the pole itself. It does feel quite narrow. If it was a little bit more thicker, it would be just right. This would be a pole which is 100 out of 100, spot on, bang on for an action pole, and even just a normal photography pole. If you're going to look for something like that, it would be bang on. That's in my opinion. Some people might think that the actual circumference is just right for an action pole, but for me, just needs to be a tad more thicker, and it would have been just right. But otherwise, for $34.99, you can't go wrong with this Smatree pole. And if you're looking for something that's going to last on trips after trip after trip, whether it's abroad or in this country, and very light to pack and can be broken down into a very small pole with its extension, you can't go wrong with this. So I'd say this is a double thumbs up for this pole. Now, if you've got this Smatree pole, this particular carbon fibre one, the S3C, please let us know down in the comment section what you think about this pole, just to let others know. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you don't, leave a thumbs down. I understand. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.